Crushing the socials, rushing through Ukraine, touching the locals. Quasi-Kodo, touching the coastals. Ethiopia, touching the opals. And quasi-nobles, kissing the ring. You niggas is Google, I'm ChatGPT mixed with a Bing. Lift every voice without lifting a thing. The baby was born with the gift for sing. I'm the last Elon, straight out of Pilon. Victory lapping, watching history happen, mystery cracking. It's the elitists attacking the fetus. They packing the seats up, cracking like C for C. They say it won't happen again, like yeah, getting back with Adidas. See back with the heaters, back in the sweepers, so black like a back of fajitas. Used to get stacks for the features, now niggas they pay us with straps on the back of their sneakers just to come stack with the teachers. We made them a promise and made us some comments. They paid us some homage. We married the game and they gave us Madonna. No maiden, no honor. Rebuking the priestess like Sinead O'Connor. If I take the breath, God give you the breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reed. That engine is me. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the lead. Superman to turn to Christopher Reed. That engine is me. As I mumble on Pro Tools. Spaceship I could hover and cloak to. I abducted and probe you. Fly till I got the tongue of a toad too. On the rumble with Goku. It wasn't even close. I thought somebody told you. I'd be munching on gold shroom till I grow you. Like I jumped on a toadstool. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. I'm hearing I'm the fairest of them all. I clearly am a pharaoh and a god. There is no comparing me to y'all. Repeat a mantra, manifesting wealth. So me and all my family have held. Destroy the world and build it back better. My mind, I build a planet by myself. Unbelievable. I'm achieving the unachievable. I'm conceiving the unconceivable. All the demons I summon speak Hebrew. We play peekaboo. Unpredictable, unexplainable, inexplicable, undefinable, undescriptible, underrated, unequivocal, unforgivable. Feeling like I become invisible. Underground like the mud and mineral. Industry is so fucking pitiful. Only signing the thugs and criminal. Honestly, I would love to kill a few. Treat around like a blood and crip would do. Get it screwed, I would punch the principal. Treat the system like what would Hitler do. If I take the breath, God give you the breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reed. That engine is me. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the lead. Superman to turn to Christopher Reed. That engine is me.
Dogs in the rainstorms gotta be chained on, frozen like brain freeze. Golden like 18, swollen like 8 fiends. From the borough where they take green. Shit, we throw in the mainstreams. Leave a nigga sniffing in steak greens. Look, you're sweeter than pastries, cheaping on lace squeeze. Got a nigga face ski. Say cheese, had to rub it in like rapeseed. Pillar bleed blue like Grape Street. Spitting over rape beats, slipping off her waist beats. I got the gas, baked beans. God is a nap that can make memes. God in an app, make cream. I got it in the bag, rake leaves. I did dirt since my late teens. Now it's a must if we stay clean. Establish trust, stay cream. Added up with no late fees. Mad as fuck when you waste cream. It's adding up through the late fees. Mars attack, that's a space beat. Mars attack like a hate speech. Mars intact like we make drinks. Mars is back like a lace string. Look, roll up some trees, we can pour up some tea. Flow like a CD, you know that it's me. Pablo appearing on Holy Ghost 3. Throw us a beat, we go bon appetit. A home of a beast on the road, I'm a freak. We don't flow, we don't speak, that's the code of the street.
If I take the breath, God give you the breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reed. That engine is me. Train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the lead. Superman to turn to Christopher Reed. That engine is me.
Yeah, 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 that's right, yes indeed, yes indeed, check it out, check it out. That right there is Breathless off of Holy Ghost 3 featuring Cambada, Red Pill, Blue Pill, all right? Make sure you go ahead and stream that. It's on YouTube. It's coming to the streaming services on March the 9th. On March the 9th, it will be on all streaming services. So make sure you make that go platinum. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's a classic right there. And that video was going to be crazy. Just think about that. So first and foremost, peace, love, and light to everybody in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. As you can see, we are doing this one on the early, you know what I mean? We're doing this shit, we're doing it on the while the sun is out, because later on we're doing a masterclass entitled Aesthetic Nihilism. So today is the primer to get us ready for what we got coming up at 7 o'clock. You know what I'm talking about? For my YouTube family, if you want access to be registered for the class tonight, because it is a free class, but you will not be able to have access to it unless you're registered, and it's on Zoom, not on YouTube. You do not have access through the channels of YouTube or Meta. We will not put the type of information that we'll talk about. It will only be on places that are encrypted, like Zoom. All right. So you got to register, because the conversation that we're going to be having tonight, it's going to get the algorithm very upset. And what we're not about to do is, put our information out there so it could get censored. Yeah, without any further ado, let me go ahead and open up the line, because I have a guest in the building. So I don't want to have the guy waiting and whatnot. Today is a special episode, because we have back from the West Coast, back from the West Side, you know what I mean? The God body in the building, none other than Two Pistol Pete in the boom. Pistol Pablo is in the building. Salute to the God.
Yes.
Texas Hold'em.
Yes.
Yo, Alexa, play that Beyonce shit. This is Texas. Texas Hold'em. And then you come in on the horse and shit. It's Pistol Pablo. What's Pablo? All right, there you go. There go the horseman right there. Not the cowboy. You know what I mean? Talk to me nice. The horseman.
That's right. The polo horseman.
The polo
You know what I
horseman.
mean? So yeah, we were always where we needed to be from the beginning. And if we even use the euphemism of a horse to track our trajectory through life,
Right.
we can see the horse identifying itself in different chapters of our life, kind of spelling the story out. In the early phase of our lives, from the age of 12 to our early 20s, we were encapsulated in the world of Polo Ralph Lauren. And,
Yes.
we hypnotized. We became street legends at a time, when the nature, like how the West was one, what they considered to be the open plains of the Western world in the with the late 1800s and the early 1900s, that would be comparable to the concrete jungles of New York City in the late 80s and the early 90s, when people were getting ransacked for their polo, like how they was getting ransacked on the high plains for their cattle, or for their, you know what I'm saying? If you have some buffalo fur, you know what I'm saying? You might get rustled for that. You feel me?
Rumor has it you had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, rumor has it you got some beavers in the back.
Yeah, right. Or if you was trapping, right? Because they were trappers.
No, not only that. Yeah, I mean they were traders too.
Yeah, so they were traders and they was trappers. So people want to understand the aesthetic of the adventures of Pistol Pablo, because this is again part of our Black Myth Story Month. I'm showing, proving in real time how you can create a mythos to coincide with reality and play it out, and it'll play out according to the narrative. I just created this character, and he already got receipts.
Right.
Like he already got a saddle to ride on. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I got a whole
Oh man,
he got a comic book, 17 panels in already,
straight up.
with a second one with a whole series coming behind it. But there's actual real life receipts that are going to be falling like, you know what I'm saying, like Tetris tiles. So it's a beautiful time to be alive and to bear witness to our ability to utilize our imaginarium to create worlds, in a way in which it is it's undeniable. Because goddamn, like I said, the receipt book is the size of a phone book. And in this day and time, when a lot of other people's resumes are falling to pieces under peer review,
Right.
I'm like, well, goddamn, like niggas been prophesizing and implementing a step-by-step methodology on how to create the future for a long fucking time now. So
Super facts.
when we were 14, by the time we were 15, we were written into the Hall of Fame of the Street Hall of Fame. This is what they call like the School of Hard Knocks and all that shit. Like we were on the honor roll of that motherfucking wall when it came to boosters.
Right.
And that was just from that 1 year demonstration of coming out the gate and really utilizing the anger and the steam of learning about our history prior to that and what we were forced to do to fend for cotton. And now here
Right.
we are in the modern era, and our people are slaving for cotton in a different way, where they were literally willing to sell their souls for a piece of clothing. We democratized the process, got involved with the trade, and evened it out where we made it accessible to the modern man, right? In particular, the modern man at that time was prototyped and typified as the Haitian. So we utilized our run in the streets, being clothiers and framers, curators of fashion, which was culture, right? Because Polo Ralph Lauren was introducing what's called Americana. And we were also advertising elements of that Americana, but personifying it as sons of an English professor. We knew all of the stories and the folklore that went along with clothes. And we were also grown up listening to Bob Dylan. So we had an appreciation for what's considered to be hillbilly, folklore, country, western concepts of Americana, and then growing up later on and being able to educate ourselves on the Empire of Their Own, which is the biographical documentary about the creation of Hollywood by outcast Eastern Jews, you know,
That
and really what it meant, how they utilized it for upward mobility to create this idea of what's called the American dream. And the
right.
American dream, and also they also personified and encased the slice of what's considered to be Americana by capturing it with lens in Hollywood, but they changed the face of it because they were now telling the mythos. And the mythos became the reality of the mythos was that we were so proficient at being what's considered to be at that time was called a cowboy, which was a derogatory term because it was dehumanizing us as men by
Right.
Europeans calling us cowboys because that's the language that they used. Why would this person with a complex would never refer to himself as a boy openly, right? He always attempts to assert himself where he is the man because he has to control the narrative, right? So he's always dealing with domination and not dominion. We're dealing with dominion, which is more equitable. He's dealing with domination, which is a different form of currency. It's a different form of engagement. It's a different form of psychology. It's a different form of sexuality, right? And that's what Christian Dome gives you, because the merger of church and state, when Constantine got his hands on Christianity, right? He had to merge it into Christendom because they had to militarize it so he can go to war against who? Them niggas on horseback that came from fucking the
More.
shores of,
Right.
the Moors who came from across the shores, who were cavaliers, right? They were known for their prowess on horses, which they had honed over 10,000 years in various military campaigns that are of legend, right? Coming out of the entire African continent. So when people attempt to cut themselves off from that genealogical strain
Right.
and only make reference to the fact that they were over here doing X, Y, and Z, then they have to produce receipts where you in communication with horses before the Spaniards came. Or did they
Right.
reintroduce you to something genetically that you connected with that reminded you who you were millennia ago? Because maybe you voluntarily came over here with Abu Bakr. They had experience with horses. Even if they didn't bring a horse over here with them, that genealogical strain would still be reunited with the horse afterwards when the Spaniards do a reverse migration of the horse and bring it to the Americas, because the horse was the technology that allowed the West to be won. It
Right.
wasn't the gun, it was the
It was the
horse.
horse. Right. They utilized
Right?
that as, yes, the war
Yes.
horses to be exact too. The war horses.
Right. So
They
the number
introduced.
one, right, the top breeded horse in the world is the Andalusian horse.
Yes,
And the
the
Andalusian
Andalusian.
horse comes from Andalusian Spain. And of course, if you read the bio on it, they tell you that it was introduced by the Moors and cultivated by the friars or the Friscans or the same people I was just telling you about with the Super Bowl. And it all goes back to the Super Bowl because we were called the Exodusters in 1850 and 1880, right? When they were opening up the South, we decided to go west because they also opened up the West Manifest Destiny after 1804 with the Louisiana Purchase.
Right,
But we were the ones that blazed the trail and went west. The European was getting ran down on by the tribes, and they could not tame the terrain, which was wild, right? We were the ones that did it. We opened up an establishment in Kansas called Nicodemus. Over 25,000 melanated families took that trek.
right.
And it was also at the prompting of the U.S. government did somebody go and open that trail up, and they did it. You feel me? And they had relationships with the indigenous tribes along the way. Why? Because they had an infinity. They have more in common and similarity with them than they do with the colonizer.
Right, right,
But they also have experience with these animals, cattle and horse, that go back 10,000 years genealogically if they identify themselves as being connected in any way to a West African strand.
mm.
Do them people not have a 10,000 year history of dealing with cattle? They drink the
Yes, they
blood and
do.
everything. They
Yes, they
use
do.
cattle for
They tied in.
divination. They tied all the way in. So who could be the cowboy prior to them? Hmm?
Mm.
Hmm?
Because the European has no history
Huh?
on record with the
Huh?
horse. Right.
Not as a cattle rustler, right? Not as
Not as a
someone who could
rustler.
take
Right. Who
heads
tamed.
of cattle across country, across unproven tracks, terrains, and routes. So
Right.
we opened up the trade routes. We were the merchandise. We were the merchantiles of the early industrial age of this country, where the trade routes that they opened up with beef initially with cattle heads is the trade routes that they ultimately went in there and used to lay the railroads. And what did they do to show favor? They built all of the railroads away from Nicodemus, Kansas, and they starved out those people homestead community. But then
Family.
them people went into Oklahoma, and them people
Hmm.
went into Missouri, and them people went into the Midwest and all of them other places.
I just want to check in real quick. I want to tap in with the family. I want everybody to know that today's show, Third Eye Thursdays, is sponsored by our aesthetic annihilism vulture lecture that we got coming up. I just signed Blue Pill to the deal. He's going to be in the building with us tonight. We're going to be doing a master class. It's free for everybody. All we will need you to do is register. The
That's
link is
right.
in the bio. Right? The link is in the bio. It's pinned on the Instagram and it's in the YouTube. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you RSVP. We're going to be going all the way in. We're going to be behind the encrypted walls of Zoom so we could talk our talk. You feel me? Because we kind of, we could talk our talk.
Right.
Let me
I'm
play this
talking right
commercial
now. I'm
through.
talking, but
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
know
be
you're
talking
talking.
tonight.
Look, as a matter of fact, because it's 222, this is a very important day to us, me and Blue. This is a very important day, just in the terms of the occultists out there. They've been strumming the strings of 222 throughout the years now, and we've been on top of it. Last year, Kanye came out and did a free show. He did a show with Future on 222. And it was in Miami. I remember they were burning the church. That was the one in which he burnt the church, or he burned his childhood, his home, and the cross, and they were burning the church as well.
But that was not last year.
That was 2 years ago.
That was 22, right? Remember, it was the day before the
For
war
the
pops
return.
off in Ukraine.
Okay,
They
beautiful. Right. That
declared
was
war. So
yeah.
it
So
was a
war
2 year
started
window.
the day after.
At
Right.
that
We're in the
same
2 year
time, I
window.
was in AZ 2 years ago.
Yes. There we go. So this is
So this is
how.
looping. Yeah.
This is looping. So life is a cycle. So what we're doing tonight, this demonstration tonight, where Kanye is we're gonna focus on the aesthetics of nihilism. We're also gonna focus on vulture culture. They talk about culture vultures, but let's focus on vulture culture, right? Let's focus on vulture culture. Vultures are not a negative thing in my comedic mind state. Vultures are not something to be scared of. When I see the vultures, I see people, I see an archetype, or I see a motif that represents the change that many people are going through right now in their dark night of the soul. I
That's right.
see the quote unquote, I'm seeing with the fertilizer, I'm seeing the mycelium aspect, I'm seeing the rising out of the ashes aspect of what our people are going through as we're burning through this fire. Many people are going through their own levels of the hero's journey, but this archetype, this man called Jesus or Kanye West, this interesting constellation that we often, put our focal point on. He has a very interesting story to tell on 222. Since we last met 222 a few years ago, there's a story of redemption. There's a story of triumph. There's a hero's journey story. There's a story of losing the battle and winning the war. There's a story of being able to identify somebody with Mamba mentality, right? So we're gonna point on a lot of things tonight. We're also gonna speak about a lot of these movements that are taking place in the darkness, on the underground, in the underworld, on the side that people may not see. Um, as a result of today being special, I want to do a giveaway. Blue, is that okay?
Yes.
All right, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. For everybody that signs up and registers for this free workshop that we're doing tonight, we're going to be giving you a PDF, an ebook, for the matter of fact, an ebook that was authored by yours truly, Blue Pillar. All right, let me share it with you. Okay, this is going to be yours. You'll have access to this. All right, we're going to send it to you. We'll send you the link to the Gumroad so you guys will be able to sign up to it. I mean, and be able to download to it and add it to your collection. Okay, boom. And I know Blue did this wonderful presentation. He put a classic up the other night on Father Rich's channel on Black Magic 363, where he laid out the hidden history of country music and cowboy culture. He bodied that. You want to walk through this real quick, Blue, and let them know what they got coming to them?
I mean, I did the whole episode so they could go
I
and
know,
check it out. But
yeah, but they might not have seen it right here.
yeah, so what you're looking at is a comprehensive study into the roots of country music and country folklore, right? Because country music or folklore has to tell a story. So we got to go to the story first. The story is the mistold story of the misnomered cowboy who originally is named a horseman. And as I've been explaining to y'all prior to this, our story history revolving around horses takes us all the way back to multiple continents where we were aces, we were cavaliers, we were, you know what
Yes,
I'm saying,
masters of
warriors.
the
We
horse.
were
Yeah,
we
masters.
mastered the horse in
Three
many different
musketeers.
civilizations, in many different continents, in many different epochs and
Yes,
eras. We always had a symbiotic relationship with the horse, and that spoke to what our understanding of our relationship with the different dominions we were granted dominion, or the different kingdoms we was granted dominion over. We dealt with
yes.
dominion, we did not deal with domination.
Right,
When the
right.
European came in, right, he dealt with domination. His energy is
Domination.
the energy of domination. That's why he has
Right.
to dominate the different kingdoms.
Heavy
He does
handed.
not work with them. He's
Right.
not synergistically in a relationship. He has an aggressive relationship with them.
He's the
One that is,
opposite.
he's the
Right.
opposite.
He's
So
the
right
opposite.
here, you see the Ferrari symbol. This comes from a tribe of horse warriors called the Ferrari, the fearless ones,
Woo.
Farari, or Ferrari, right?
Right.
And they come from the Shanghai dynasty, right? The Mali
Okay.
regions. Like I said, these would be the same people who Abu Bakr belonged to, and Mansa Musa and them.
Right.
You feel me? The Mansas was the kings of that, or the caliphs of that particular regions,
Mm-hmm.
and they had many fleets with goddamn horses. That's what made the difference with them,
Right.
right? So is it polo horsemen versus cowboys? You see the way that grown men even grovel today for the Dallas Cowboys? Why would you want to be associated with such a derogatory term and label? We were horsemen. You feel
Right.
me? For
Horsemen.
our prowess and relationship with the horse and the cattle, we were able to transport heads of cattle across country to get traded. We came back with the bag. All right.
Right.
Not only were we proficient in herding the cattle and transporting the cattle, we also were man enough to get the bag back and our head still intact. And they could not go through open country and come back with their lives. Their police was
Mm.
getting bodied, right? That's why they had to
Right.
send in Bass Reeves, right? So the Indian Territory caught the most amount of bodies for the sheriffs and the marshals and all, not even the sheriffs because they didn't have sheriffs yet. They had marshals,
Right.
and yeah, so they couldn't penetrate. Bass Reeves had a relationship with them, and he knew the language because he got in with the, you know what I'm saying? He got in with the tribes,
He was tapped
so
in.
he got tapped in. So you know, he became the Lone Ranger, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend.
Right.
And you know, that's up for dispute as well. But nonetheless, he's legendary in his feats and his efforts. You can go
Mm-hmm.
and see, go back to that. You can go and see the Paramount TV show special that they have on Bass Reeves streaming right now.
I've been hearing
And
about that.
this is Memphis, Tennessee. So Tennessee, which is a land of copper on both spectrums, right? On one end you got Memphis, right? And on the other end you got Nashville. So you got the home of blues on one end and you got the home of country on the other end, right? If we can prove that one aspect of this coincides with the mythos, there's an overlap and an overlay, right? If we could show that there's a congeniality with the mythos within itself, that Memphis, Tennessee coincides with Memphis, Kemet, if we can show and prove that,
Right.
then we can also show and prove that there's a synergistic relationship between the poles of the magical place called Memphis and the opposite of Nashville, which would be on the other end of it, right? We show that there's a congeniality with both Memphises by the color blue. We show that they're both funerary cities. We show that they're both motor capitals, and we show that they're both where kings go to die. And exampled perfectly by the incident that took place last January during Martin Luther King's birthday weekend, who was killed in Memphis on 4/4/1968 to inaugurate this 44 year, kicking in the door, waving the 4/4. You got Big Jook, who was a street king, who got killed at the funeral for a drug kingpin over a battle over the king of Memphis between his brother and Young Dolph.
Mm.
Now go a few pages down so we can show and prove. Yeah, go back. Here, go back up. There we go. And there it goes, right?
Right.
The home of blue is also the home of the Egyptian blue on its Kemetic counterpart side. They both stream along the river delta, which would be the Mississippi and the Nile. What do they call the Nile? Did they call the Nile red or did they call it a blue Nile?
Blue Nile.
Okay, then. Look, the Egyptian blue is so blue, your fingerprints will be shown blue under black light. Let's go to the next one, please.
Woo.
So here we go to the sync that I just said about if I can show and prove through the mythos that this is a place on the map that is consecrated where kings go to die, right? Engulfed in king energy, 4/4 energy, murder,
Yeah. Murder.
shootings, killing, 44, Aries to the head, Big Jook.
Right.
At the funeral of a kingpin, over the battle in the city over who's the king of Memphis. There's a new king in town, right? And his name is not Jesse Brown. His name is, you know what I'm saying, hip hop. So this is a different epoch. It's not gonna look like MLK no more. It's gonna look
Right.
like Biggie Smalls.
Right.
The other 44 resonator, who's gonna kick in the door this year. Mark my word. Y'all gonna see big things from BIG. Pillar
Big
prophecies.
things. Big things.
Let's go.
Big things.
You know? So enshrined in Tennessee, go back. You know, enshrined in Tennessee in a place where it cannot be scrubbed or erased in the pinnacle textbooks of country music in the consecrated halls of country music, there's a painting, right, that shows the originators and the progenitors of country. I think go down a few more slides. Let me see if it's there. Go back. We're going to, yeah. Nonetheless, there's a painting that has the African with the banjo written in all the books. They said that they're not trying to hide it. It's in plain sight. They say you just abandon it, if anything. Like everything else that you turn out, and then you move on to something else. That somebody dusts off the shit that you abandoned, refurbish it, puts a new shine and a
Purpose.
gleam on it, and then
Right.
you over here breaking yourself for it, not knowing your history, looking like, you know what I'm saying, like you hoeing this shit.
Right.
Yeah, you pound towning for your own box.
Right. Show shit.
So yeah, silly shit. So it's like, yeah, this is the danger of not knowing oneself or knowing the history that encompasses the rich, melanated history of the last 400 years in this country
Right.
that we need to be embellished in our own study and research of, so we can understand our relationship to this homeland, so we can heal our root chakra relationship to the land and to our God and to our diet, because that's why this shit is thrown off. We don't know our relationship to our home. And no disrespect to the continent, you know what I'm saying, because I'm not one of them people that's like F the continent. I'm just saying you gotta where your feet is at is where your head needs to be there as well, right? The magic that we're able to do here is going to benefit all continents, you know, but you got a story here that's buried in a shallow grave that you need to unearth because it's rich. Ye are rich. Ye are rich with your history. Our people is legendary. They created everything. But what's the use of it if you don't own none of it? You know what I'm saying? You niggas did the same thing to hip hop. Whose fault is that? Yeah, I got 5 on it. Got 5 on it, my nigga.
Talking that talk.
Did the same thing to rock.
Same thing.
Niggas did the same thing to reggae, right?
Same thing.
I mean, to roots and culture, but these things get attacked. They get motherfucking. They pull military coups on them.
They get cooped from the inside.
Reggae was a military coup.
That's a fact.
From the CIA. I don't know if they show that shit in the movie. If they don't, I don't want to see it.
Ain't nobody come back talking no CIA talk. No conspiracies. I didn't hear about the Nazi
Chris
doctor.
Blackwell, John C. and Clive Davis. They was all Harvard graduates recruited by the CIA to interrupt reggae music. So Bob Marley would not go on tour and radicalize Stevie Wonder. That's what they wanted to stop by any and all means, because Bob was radicalizing the planet. He had not broken into the U.S. market yet, y'all. He wasn't fully splashed in the U.S. market. He hadn't gone on a U.S. tour yet, and really
he was making inroads.
He was on his way to the U.S. when they clipped him, y'all.
Yeah, he was making inroads.
He was making inroads to the U.S. Yeah.
We're gonna go to a commercial. While we go to the commercial, make sure y'all register for tonight, y'all. Make sure y'all register for tonight.
Seeing this was shocked that the president would even post something like this on his main account. First off, the caption says, just like we drew it up. Then he has this evil ass picture with red lasers coming out his eyes. Now we all know the government controls the world and plans things in advance, which could explain the caption. But what's even more strange is that hidden in the description, all he put was Dark Brandon. And after researching what the hell that means, I figured out that this is Joe Biden's evil alter ego. Now why the fuck does a president have an alter ego? That's crazy. And what's strange about this is that he posted this right after the Super Bowl. And this year's Super Bowl broke the record for the most live viewers, with over 123 million people watching. So while everybody was distracted watching the Super Bowl and Usher, let's see what Dark Brandon was doing behind the scenes. First, dozens of people were killed in a city called Rafah by American-funded bombs. And the sad part is, this city was full of kids and civilians. That's probably why he waited until everybody was distracted first. And not only that, this plane mysteriously crashed and ended up killing 6 people, including the CEO of a major bank in Nigeria. His wife and son was on board too. People are saying the government was involved because he was getting ready to expand his bank to Asia. That would have put him in direct competition with American banks, so they made sure that didn't happen. And ironically, him and his family were on the way to the Super Bowl when this happened. Rest in peace to them, man. Who knows? Maybe I'm tripping. This could all be a big coincidence, and this whole time he was just talking about the Super Bowl. But let me know what you think in the comment section, and be sure to hit follow to stay updated. Y'all stay conscious.
It appears as if Dark Brandon is being fashioned after Homelander. All right. Homelander is the archetype that they're using as the anti-hero, right? The Antichrist or the anti-hero, the homicidal maniac. that Homelander is. That's Biden, especially with the blood on his hands from this war, amongst other things that they're doing when the people are not looking. Homelander, even with those sneakers that Donald Trump has, those are Homelander sneakers. So pay close attention to what they're doing. Peace. Check this out. This is called programming, social engineering, predictive programming.
Don't worry about it, kiddo. It's just a little
African
turbulence.
billionaire with his family.
You okay?
Right?
Dad.
What's he doing out here?
Aren't you guys friends?
Just belong, stay with me.
Yeah.
So let's take a ride and see what's mine.
Homelander, baby. Dark Brandon. It's just a, 222. We're gonna unpack it. If you want more of this, comment 222 and you will get the link so you can register. Alright? I'll see you tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Peace. Yeah, so what that's showing you right there is that this is from a TV show on Amazon called The Boys, and the main character, he goes by the name of Homelander, right? And Homelander would be basically the archetype of America right now. He is, they write think pieces about who Homelander really is and whatnot. But whenever you see those pictures with the eyes that are glowing, that's not the Bitcoin picture. That's Homelander that they're referencing. All right. Homelander is he's the anti-hero who's posing as the hero. That's exactly what these politicians represent. That's they are homicidal maniacs behind closed doors. The same way with BB, the same way with the Scorpion King Charles, the Scorpion President Joe, and the Scorpion Queen Hillary or Killary. This show highlights, and it's a parody, but when you study who the writers are, they're really political satire. It's like they're really taking real characters and just twinking it with a little bit of satire, but they're telling you this is who we're talking about. So we're going to be unpacking things like that tonight in the class. We're going to be talking about
I'm gonna show, bring my receipts and show you that that's the Pillar prophecy from last year, almost to the exact date. I'm gonna show and prove that. Watch.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I know you're gonna be able to show that.
This is all. It's all a time loop. You know what I'm saying? It's all Pillar prophecies. Last year, y'all, we did Win in Rome 3 on February 13th, right after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And 44 days after that, they denounced the the doctrine of discovery. But even before all of that, we got mad receipts because that was dealing with the whole Super Bowl and what was happening with the church and the rollout. And remember, y'all, Biden's the Catholic, so he's indelibly connected to this church and to the what they call the last Pope prophecy of Peter Romanus, right? Of who Pope Francis actually is. So yeah, like I said, I got some receipts that I'm gonna bring out tonight to be like, bro. Just like when I said that morning when I wrote that treatise about the church the morning of the Super Bowl, and I laid it out without telling people I'm picking this or I'm picking that. I've told you why you should utilize your consciousness to pick a decision based on what the metrics were behind team affiliations and brand loyalty. I explained the mythos of what was going on and the fact that San Francisco 49ers represent the Roman Catholic Church.
Right.
And that was on the 95th birthday of the Vatican. And that was on the morning that Pope Francis he gave a sainthood to a woman, and also met with the prime minister of Chile right
Right.
after them fires.
Right
And
after
then what
right.
happened a few hours after the note was written? Lakewood got shot up with an AR.
Interesting.
And everything that I said in that treatise came to pass. I said this shit is about the Golden Gates in Jerusalem. I said watch them about to turn up, right? Because they got to press the gas to go towards Passover. They're not going to stop because they're aiming for the Golden Gate. I
Right.
said this is also about the Golden Gate dealing with Gavin Newsom, about them replacing the fucking ticket when they got to bring this dude and one of them Obamas in.
Right.
Right? That's why he was like, this shit went according to script. Right? We had to
Right.
get rid of them Cali ass niggas. He put them eyes on Homelander.
Right.
Right? But he had to bump his faction off in order to do it because San Francisco is the Catholic Church. Remember, the capital of both Golden Gates represent the capital of LGBT on both ends of the hemisphere. San Francisco Golden Gate on the western coast, which is the eastern hemisphere, or you know, and then and in Tel Aviv over
Right.
there,
Oh, right.
where the Golden Gate is at over there in Jerusalem. Yeah, they don't like when Two Pistol Pablo makes these connections.
Yeah, that
You
was
understand? So yeah, this shit is deep. This and all of that took place in Aquarian season under the androgynous sign of Aquarius and Uranus when it was going ham shit.
right.
And nobody be putting these connect. And then the Meg Stallion shit was all in the motherfucking Kool-Aid, mixing the flavor up with all of that androgynous Aquarian energy.
And then the super duper androgynous Aquarian energy is Playboy Cardi popping up, you know, wearing a
Right?
thong and whatnot.
Yeah,
And
all took place during that season. So what's his sign? Do you know? How does
what's
he fit
what?
into the Playboy Cardi? Let's see how he fits into the mythos. What is his what's his birth chart? What's his zodiac sign? What's his birthday?
I'm gonna find out right now.
Yeah.
I know
So
that.
yeah, so yeah, y'all, it's an expansive mythos, and we simplify the complex by putting it in this analogous term that you can decipher. It's a mythos.
He's a Virgo.
Yeah.
December the
So
13th,
yeah,
Hawk Day.
the continuation of the Virgo theme of this year, right? All of January was about Virgo men. Dave Chappelle, uh, Cat Williams. It was the beginning of the Kobe year, right? Inaugurating the Kobe shit that
Right.
culminated with getting the statue on February 8th. Stop playing.
Right.
Huh?
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 Well, huh? Already got receipts, y'all. Right? The nigga who jumped over the counter to tackle the lady, Deborah,
Right.
with the
Yeah.
BIG
The
shirt on,
BIG
looking
shirt
at the
on.
door, waving in the 4-4 starting that motherfucking Pillar Prophecy kicking off. Huh? Huh?
Huh?
And I know I'm missing one. Yeah.
What was
Somebody
Pop
missing
Smoke sign? I
a
think he's a
cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah.
He's a
I think it
Cancer.
might have been a cancer.
Yeah, he's a Cancer.
Like 50.
But he got clipped in February 4 years ago. He got clipped a few
Yeah.
days ago.
Yeah, he
And
got on
whatnot.
February 20th.
That's
No,
right.
either
Right
it
after
was February
Kobe.
19th at the age of 20 or February 20th at the age of, it was one of them. Yeah, one of them shits.
They clipped him in there.
And yeah, so, you know, them twin solar flares, I don't know if we saving that to later, but
Yeah, we can't. You know what I'm talking about? February the 19th, 2020. February
yeah,
the 19th. So he's 20 years old. He
yeah,
died in
got on
2020
the 19th
on the 19th.
in
So
2020.
Ice Spice was in the news. Ice Spice is the bridge between what I'm going to be talking about tonight, dealing with the opium movement and dealing with the movement amongst the youth with the aesthetic of nihilism. She's the pop star. She is Isis. She's born January the 1st,
Yeah,
2000.
2000.
She is Y2K. All right. So
She's the
she's part
millennium
of the
baby. Yeah.
Y2K. Yes. Say it again.
She's the $1 billion baby. She's the millennium baby.
She's the millennia baby, right? She's the archetype that they're gonna utilize, and she's the archetype that they are not gonna. She's being utilized before your very own eyes.
She was smiling. I was like, for real? That for real, son?
Yeah, for real, son. So people don't know what the opium movement is. People don't know what the upside down cross is. People don't know that she's down with Playboy. That's all Playboy Cardi and them influence that she was on right there. You know, so yeah, so we're gonna show how that movement ties into the vulture movement, how it ties into the Ye, his current. Remember, we're talking about different assets, different aspects of an artist, different facets of an artist, different eras and ages. So we're in the dark age. We're in the dark age. We're in the
dark age of Ye,
the dark age of A, the dark night of his soul. That part of the hero's journey where he's in the underworld or the underbelly, or maybe it's the part of the story where he came up from the underworld in the underbelly, and this is what it looks like. But it's a very interesting story. It's a very interesting informative conversation that we'll have tonight to help parents understand about the culture that their youth are a part of, that they may not have a finger on. You may not know what's going on. You may not know what the whole Gothic movement is about. You may not know what the whole emo thug movement is about. You may not know why your children want to wear black fingernail polish, or they may want to deal with some type of downers and whatnot. You may not know why your child wants to smoke. You know, all of the things that we're seeing children conform to that are part of this youth of rebellious youthful move, this youth movement, or this counterculture movement. And I'm not here to judge. This is not gonna be a show where I'm stepping on anybody. This is a show where I'm being a reporter. And I said it before, I'm doing my best to remove my personal biasness against things to get in the way of me reporting, because that's not some of the best reporters that I watch on YouTube. That you don't know how they feel. Their personal biasness is not in their reporting. They're giving you straight news, and they're removing all of that conjecture. You know, so that's what I'm aiming for.
You gotta separate the two. Yeah,
you gotta learn how to separate.
A good reporter knows how to separate the two. Yeah,
and I'm striving to perfect my journalism. You know, as we move forward. So that's my offer. Yeah. I get inspired by you.
All should, you know?
Yeah.
As we all should, become better journalists.
Let me play this commercial real quick.
Yes. Yeah, do your thing.
Be right back. Do you hear anything?
No.
Go ahead and re-upload this bad boy. This shit is so demonic. This shit is possessed. You don't even want to play. Is there anything you want to leave them with, or let them know that you got coming up? We can what? Can they see a replay of that thing you did with Dot? Oh, that's Spike. Yes, Spike.
Yeah, what we doing?
Yes, let's take.
What we doing?
Yes. We have to make a grand announcement. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna make that announcement. Very good news that we have to share with the family. You feel me? Let's get into this discussion real quick.
Features one as a darker version of Ye. It's him on a sexual rampage from becoming a divorced man to remarried. Cardi is the go-to for this type of energy, and he leads the flows to the #1 song on Apple Music upon the first week of release. Cardi and Travis have a stranglehold on the culture right now. They understand how the internet works and how their lifestyle can steer the ship to wherever they want to go. With all their eccentric qualities and new ways of looking at things, Playboi Carti and Travis Scott are definitely leading this generation as far as they can with the influences that Ye has left behind. Some people may say that Ye is using the youth. Maybe he is, but it's working because he...
Yeah. Easy anyway with a dollar sign. You can go to money like Calabar.
A nigga cook it. Nah, I mean, like I said, this is a pillar prophecy to see the shit.
Yo, if you see that shit in the club, oh my goodness. Problem.
To see this shit come to where I prophesized it to be in terms of this edge that he would take, where I said, look, because of the stance that he took last year, or was it last year, or whatever year it was?
Yeah, you did call it.
If they don't clip him, right, he goes to a different. So this was the battle of their gods. He was saying, I'm standing on business. My God is stronger than your God. I have enough faith to believe that your God will not enforce whatever penalty that you want to hurl on me, because you can't take my life. And these niggas go around the planet clipping people they got beef with, as you can see. Right. They're about that slide game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They slime. They slime for real. But he's like, I'm a vulture.
Right.
You feel me?
Who else can pick me up?
Yeah.
But the niggas who they threw away. Because they threw Travis away. They threw Cardi away. They threw Rich Kid away. They threw Ty Dollars away.
Right. He gonna pick them up.
They threw Dirk away. They threw YG. Everybody that they threw away, he went and picked up, and he formed a fuck you committee where they hit #1. So in a game where it's not about how you feel, it's not about what you think. Where you at? Are you where you at, Blue? It's not about what you think and shit like that. It's about the results. It's about what points you putting up. The #1 is the W, right? That's the game that they play. It's not what we dictate. It's what the industry plays. And obviously they play a strict game, because when people be hitting #1, they be like, yo, that's their first #1 in 11 years. I'd be like, I must not be paying attention, because goddamn it, what the fuck do that mean? How didn't they other shit go #1? What am I missing?
Right.
So the #1 obviously means something in terms of the metrics that they're weighing out.
I mean,
hold on. He's an independent artist who they reportedly took off of the streaming platforms. He got distribution through other entities, but all that bread goes to him. He's a canceled artist. They was restricted from doing business with him. They put the dude area, what's his name, from Hollywood, the top. They made him the top op, and he persevered on them in their own game. He came into their own business.
Did you hear my bill when I was talking about it? It's the battle of the gods.
Yes, I did, sir. Can you want to repeat that?
Yeah, like I said, he went up against their God when he rebuked them. Right, because the penalty for doing that is death, especially on the level that he did it.
BB, right?
If someone,
when he went up against BB,
when he went against the whole the whole sect, the whole gang.
He went right to the final boss, though. He did pull up on a final boss and give it to him.
He went at the whole shit. He went after all of them, and the fact that the penalty may have been fiduciary, but it wasn't blood, right? And the fact that if he lived to see tomorrow, if he lived to see tomorrow, then he absolves his foe, because the name of the game with this is, as long as the nigga keep his keep his head on the shoulder, he won. Right. And not only is he keeping his head on his shoulder, He ain't got no fucking socks on. This nigga been moving around the world with no security, showing no fear for these people. So then he's able to disrupt the entire industry that's ran by them by going independent. And like you said, even when they're pulling shenanigans with the streaming, he shows what the resiliency of a true fan base looks like.
Right.
And now he's tapping into a new demographic. Cause like you said, he got the young niggas that have figured the internet out for being this is the mutation of the misfit. This is the
Right.
revenge of the nuclear nerd.
The nuclear nerd. You a legend, Blue. Oh my goodness. You a legend. Hold on.
I do these. You know what I'm saying? I do
Yeah,
these.
keep talking. The nuclear nerd. But look, right.
Yeah, these
So
niggas is mutated. It would be
they
like you got to do the
mutated.
Cabbage Patch
It's
Kids.
Toxic Avenger. Post
Yeah,
COVID that you
it's
can't
weird
tell.
science meets Toxic Avenger.
It's weird science with
Splashed
open
on
AI
dirt, right?
technology, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if the nerds back in the days had open AI. Imagine if the nerds had this Vision Pro, right? These kids survive C19. There's nothing that you
Right.
can tell them right now. Y'all absolved yourself from taking the wheel. They got the wheel now. It's nothing that you could
Right.
do to
They
normalize.
seen y'all
They
niggas drop.
survived
They
the
seen,
war. Right. You live in a post world.
they seen the
People
grown
not
folks
putting it in
panic.
perspective. You live in a
Hold on.
post war society. Go ahead.
Yeah. They seen the grown folks panic.
They seen you niggas.
They seen niggas. They seen you niggas flinch. They seen y'all drop the motherfucking handles. No handlebars. They seen you crash the car. They seen you
Right.
veer off the road. They seen the planes fall out the sky. They seen
Right.
you niggas panic. They seen you slip. Right? So if
Seen
they
you
didn't have no
little.
respect for you then,
Right.
yeah. Now there's super counterculture because they're like, we're gonna take this shit. And the migrants too. They like, all y'all niggas is pussy.
Right. Because y'all did the
Feel me?
George
Because
Floyd.
y'all don't, yeah.
Y'all did the George Floyd two-step. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all did the George Floyd two-step and the electric slide right into the hands of your enemy, and you kneeled and whatnot. So you
Right.
can't
You
tell the
march to the polling booths.
right.
The
You
migrants march
right.
from one country to another. Hold on. The migrants march from one continent or one country to another. These niggas march to the polling booth. There's a big difference.
Big difference.
Remember, it was in the age of revolution,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And it was in the age of revolution. So
Yes.
the uprisings have not stopped
Yes.
because the solar flares started going off May 25th, 2020, right? That shit set the revolution off, and they have not stopped. They're only going to intensify with the upcoming solar flare schedule, this Fenta spike.
Right. Keep in mind, family, the continent went through a grand revolution last year. Y'all and us in America, we might not have been turning up, but the continent went through 8 countries getting their from in the francophone. Do you understand what just took place?
Right. They broke the
And
back. Yeah, they
Afrobeat,
broke the
right?
back of the Francophiles. And the
Burna Boy,
Francophones.
right? Burna Boy hasn't even dropped the album. He said he recorded an album called Gaddafi. So Afrobeats hasn't even embraced rebel music like with Marley, what Bob Marley was bringing to Africa when he was in his heights. He was
Right. They ain't go dark yet.
they didn't go dark
Right.
yet, and they already at 8 revolutions. You feel me? And they got the young leaders, son from Burkina Faso, right? He's focused. His conversation in son in South Africa, their conversation is all about the fact that they're like, these are the aliens and they gotta go. So until you in America having a conversation about the real aliens, and you turn around,
Real illegal immigrants.
you got the caucasity and the audacity to tell a Mexican or a South American they don't know about the borders. They don't identify the borders that you identify with. They say to you, America's America, fam. Get over it. As a matter of fact, if you niggas knew better, you would do better because this low key is your land. How about that? How about the fact that we're gonna have to come on your land and remind you, if you don't know, that this is your land. We got the records because keep in mind, Blue, people are coming from different countries, and these countries are lit. If I meet somebody from El Salvador is a Bitcoin
This is
country,
a
and
yo.
that
Yeah. So
person is in America, right? But they're coming from a Bitcoin country. Or if I see somebody from Mexico and I'm like, yo, you do music? And they like, yeah, I do that TikTok. And I'm like, great. And you're in my backyard. I'm going live with them and I'm going to do a song with them and I'm going to upload it to their platform and I'm going to get lit in their country because the cultural exchange is that they're sending people to us. But you don't understand that these are markets that are booming right now. These are open markets. These people have something to offer and you're not using them. You're seeing it in a wrong perspective because you are looking at them through the eyes of the European. You're a Negro peon. You don't see the European as an alien. You wouldn't have the audacity to say the same thing that they're doing by running through the border is the same thing that y'all did when they flushed the toilets and they sent y'all rushing our border and y'all took our land, y'all took our resources, and they deputized y'all and y'all wound up killing our people.
that part.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, that happened. And I think it was 1908 in New York City. It was a draft riots, and that's when the Irish became. They went from being Irish niggas
Yeah,
into an accepted class. They got invited into whitehood, right? Because white was a social status at the time,
it still is.
and yeah, the Jews and the Irish, you know, they were looked down upon. They were not looked upon as white with a social status. They looked at them as niggers,
Right.
and there was a draft riot because they were drafting people now to send them to war to fight for these niggers in the South. And then the people got infuriated and mad and angry. So they turned that angst against our people and started rioting. And then they washed our people up. This is where the fire department and the police department being tied in with Irish folk came from. They showed us in the movie
The
Gangs of New York,
gangs in New York. The
right?
gangs in New
Yeah.
York laid it out and showed you
Yeah,
everything.
they showed you the whole play in
Tammany
the Gangs of New
Hall,
York.
right? They showed you Tammany Hall. They showed you how they deputized these quote unquote underlings, right?
Yeah.
This was the remember they had them in tenements, they had them in ghettos, they had them as the buffer class. They
Yeah, it
were
was
getting in the
class.
way because the other people, the blue bloods, their numbers were thinning. Their numbers were thinning, and people were knocking on their doors because they had what? Treaties and other things that were coming up. Their first round of them basically, standing on business, that was beginning to come up after they was getting washed up after that war. They was like, you know what? We got to bring in a whole new class of folk to be the buffers. So we have buffers. They're bringing in buffers. But I was walking. I was downtown by City Hall yesterday, Blue, walking by a group of homeless men. I sat down and I talked to them. I went live and I walked past them. And I was saying to everybody that's on the live, I said, look, our people is hypocrites because they act like they care about these homeless people. But if people really worked it out, these people will be working every day because there's always something to be done. It's
Hmm.
impossible for regular black people to be in a state of affairs that they're in where they don't have schools, they don't have hospitals, they don't have studios, they don't have factories, they don't got what the fuck they acting like they got. They got their garages is popping and whatnot, and they got nice trunks and whatnot, but they don't have the necessities to sustain oneself and to be qualified to even say that you're presently present. You don't got that. Niggas got barbershops and shit like that, but they don't have they don't have like distilleries and things like of that nature. They don't have tanneries and whatnot.
Hmm.
So as a result of the fact that we don't have these things, and I see mad labor forces because the homeless in where we live in a gig economy. And what the gig economy means is that as long as you have the amount, if you have the budget to pay somebody, you could basically pay somebody money to do a task. As long as somebody can do something, like as long as they can physically do a thing, then you can pay them to do something. So if we need our streets to be gentrified, we need garbage picked up, we need houses painted, we need things to be, cleaned up. And there's all of these people sleeping in tent cities and whatnot, and they're literally laying around having to do things to feed themselves and whatnot, compromise their safety and their health. Why are we not coming to say, yo, I got a budget today of $100,000? And where would you get $100,000 from, Red Pill? You know, with the government, they not trying to give you no money because they sending it to Ukraine and they spending it on all of these other things. My answer to you is that we got to govern ourselves. Me and my brother, we are statesmen, and we've been governing our community and showing improvement through social work, so social entrepreneurism, and through many other things. To whereas if we were to run for office, because I was just inside of the state capitol building yesterday, and I was looking around and I was looking at the politicians and I was like, I could do this shit, bro. I could do this and have fun doing it. Like, we need to really get into our politics, y'all. And I'm not a political party person. I'm not a Democrat, and I damn sure ain't a Republican. But the people is where the budget comes from. The people got to be responsible. The people got to really be about what they say they about and just stand up and stop asking for, because them other people don't care about us. Them other people don't, they gonna keep they're gonna hold you on a leash. Them people play games with you. Them people look down on you. Them people would knock on your door if you figured it out and showed them that you don't need them. That's when they come throwing money at you. Like, yo, I got $1 million for you. Can you please not tell your people what you know? So if 100,000 or 144,000 of my people, our people, your people decided today that we not gonna play no more, we're gonna pay, right? Like how Nipsey said, that proud to pay program, we have to be proud to pay $1 a day. $1 a day. What's $1 a day? That's $100,000, right? From 100,000 of us. I got 100,014 followers. I don't want no followers. I want members. I want teammates, because it's time for us to get the W. Everybody's so worried about everything else but the W. The W is this. If we open up a budget, a daily budget of $100,000, and then we have our workforce working, our environment will turn into a better place. Our culture will become more healthier. We will have purpose. And I'm not going to talk anymore on these open lines. What I'm saying is, I need y'all to sign up and register so we can have these grown conversations about solutions in places where it's safe. Because on YouTube and on Instagram,
let's right. We have opportunity to offer in the form of a new piece of technology. I don't know if the brother has it queued up yet or not, but we need to make this announcement.
yes, indeed. Let me pull it up.
You know, and I mean, this is in the vein of what he's speaking about, our ability to employ our people and disrupt an industry that we feel is underserving our people, which is the delivery service. But it's really not just delivery in terms of food, shipping, logistics, you know what I mean? Uh, Small businesses that have product get to customers on some Amazon shit, you know, within 24 to 48 hours and get it to them with care and concern, right? We need to start creating this rideshare community, utilizing the rideshare apparatus the same way Uber did, so we can create shipping hubs and our people can be picking up packages and bringing them the postal service is disruptible because they on a last leg. The delivery shit is disruptible, right? I just went through this whole ordeal attempting to get heavy pack. I had 6 suitcases full of stones, and I had to transport that across the country. There's not too many services that can afford me equitable means of transference. But if we had like a ride share service where people was riding to one region, offloading, and someone else was picking up from there, and then those people were splitting costs.
Right.
Like there's super ways to do things utilizing, what we have at our means, which is people and resources. This particular foray into the disruption of delivery is going to start by way of our pizza delivery app, right? Which is delivering infused foods, starting with our top tier pizza, God tier, vegan, right? And not only is the introduction revolutionary because we are utilizing a means and method in which you can actually deal with culinary cannabis cuisine at this particular time because it's protected by federal law. We're also jumping on a revolutionary technology by utilizing the pizza boxes for advertising. We're going to be streaming VR content on our way of QR codes that can be accessed on our delivery boxes. We're also going to be offering, we're also going to be offering opportunities for our clients, who the deliverers to have a better equity payout than the delivery apps are offering currently at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So this is an ambitious effort to grow a larger, more encompassing delivery service that will be nationwide, where we can finally bring something that competes against the very unequitable delivery apps that exist today.
Yes. We are going to disrupt the industry with a solution-based app, okay? And we're also going to offer a lot of opportunities for our brothers and sisters out there who are working with the rideshare companies, like Blue said, but they're not giving them full compensation.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So now that we live in the age of AR, we have successfully entered into the age of AR and VR. Well, we're going to reflect that on the quote unquote products that we are involved with. So our Spike products will all have a component to whereas it will be AR compatible, VR compatible, and SR compatible, which is spatial reality. So imagine getting your slice of pizza, but you're also able to get the Purple Sprite mixtape, right? You're also able to get the 48 Laws, the 48 Pillars of Power mixtape, right?
And book.
And book just by looking, just by scanning the QR code that comes with your order. So you're getting entertainment, you're getting medicinal properties and whatnot. You're getting education, all at the same time.
And experience.
So we're dealing with immersive technology, immersive entertainment, and we're also going to be giving you what the highest quality of the THCA and the flower, which is borderline medicinal.
Yes. So this will also momentarily merge into a weed delivery app as well, where we'll be delivering flower and different, parts of, because oils, butters, you feel me, things of that nature will be available as well. But there's going to be a full menu that coincides with the pizza. It's not just going to be pizza. There'll be spaghetti, right? There'll be the kale. Sea moss is going to be available.
Yes.
You dig what I'm saying? And others, the cookies is and all of it, everything that I just mentioned to y'all is vegan. There'll be other options as well. We'll have the salmon infused. You feel me? The Rasta pasta, and again, like
what about the late night? Right. What about the
and then
the whole thing about
we're solving another it's solution based all around the board. So we're solving the lack of late night options on these apps. Vegans are not getting, good food, let alone options after 9 o'clock. So it's a 24-hour situation where people will be able to access this food all around the clock. And like I said, we here to disrupt. So let's not ask the unobvious questions. You download the app and you put the order in. You dig what I'm saying? You're gonna get the product,
That's right.
and that's that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's
And
all legal. It's
yeah, it's
nothing. It
all
ain't
legal.
no underhanded, sneaky type shit. You know what I'm talking about? This is all legal. This is all within the
Yeah,
realms of.
this is in the Apple and Android App Store family. They're not going to be supporting something this
So
operation.
Nashawn, right. It wouldn't be in the app store if it wasn't you know what I mean? It's in the app
Yeah, so,
store. So they just don't tell you these things,
yeah, they
but
just not
knowledge is
telling you.
power. And we got the information, so we got the power, right? So Nashawn said an adult dinner party with these options and political and communal solutions. I'm glad that you even mentioned that, God,
Yeah,
because that is
that was the
exactly
initial
what we
build
have,
out,
right?
right?
The initial build out is we're going to be launching Third Eye Thursdays as the dinner party component, where we'll be having an all infused menu. Okay. You'll be able to have, we'll have chefs coming in. They're going to be doing specific, special catered meals and whatnot, all infused though, everything infused for the Third Eye Thursdays. Your third eye will open up. Okay.
Facts.
We actually have a theater that we're going to be premiering on 420 when we drop our project, and it will be premiering inside of a theater. That theater will also have components of VR and whatnot, so you'll be able to go into the virtual world. You're able to have a headphones. You'll be able to experience what is known as haptic technology. So it's about the whole experience. We want to unlock DNA. We want to completely change people's. We want to be a part of this great reset and this pivot and really be presently present, because there are a lot of tools and resources that have dropped into our laps right now. And
Yes.
it's almost like being inside of FAO Schwartz or being inside of the toy store. You didn't connect the toys, so you don't even know that they all go together, and you're robbing yourself of an experience. So we found when we put certain toys together, the experience was mind-blowing. It was paradigm shifting. It was something that we needed to share with y'all. So here we are rolling it out, and one of the first tools that will make everything easy and is a immediate disruptor, because it's giving you options to be employed, and it's also giving you options to get infused vegan food, whereas that didn't exist before. And that's the Infused app. And we also got infused beverages. And wait till you eat them cookies, bruh. Wait till you get them cookies. So yes, we're gonna have adult parties. We're gonna have play parties. We're gonna have speed dating and whatnot. We're rolling things out. As the spring comes about, more things will be produced and introduced. This is we're winding down the winter. So
Winding
222
down the
today,
winter. Yes.
right? 222 is important. This is one of those bookmarking. It's a countdown now. It's a countdown into the new year, into spring and forth, into April, which is the super duper the X. You feel me? The quote unquote. We got a lot of shit in front of us, y'all. So don't fall off. Don't get distracted. Don't. I'll get back to those guys. No, we're in a quantum quickening. What's taking place in 3 days is shit that it took 3 weeks to take place. You tap out for 3 days, then you're gonna miss out. I'm borderline brink. I'm almost ready. The ink is almost dried. The T's is almost crossed and the I's are almost dotted. We about to do the equivalent of what they're doing over there on the streaming platforms for consciousness, right? You see how they do streaming all day
Yeah.
on the
Hold that down.
news?
Hold that down. Hold that
Okay,
down.
yeah, we here, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Two
Blue.
pistols. Yeah.
Yeah, close it out.
Yeah. You already know. Two pistol Pablo. You feel me? Screw guns up. Twin solar flares. There's nothing else to say. I'm broadcasting live for these meta glasses, y'all.
Yeah, Blue got the meta glasses that's going live. I told them that that's the most significant jump in technology in the last 10 years. The fact that you can now broadcast your life through POV. It is not the same as going live. When I'm going live, I have to hold the phone
Yeah,
in
it's
my
different.
hand. You're
It's
not
different.
looking right.
When
If
I'm on
you
this,
ever
yeah. When he hang up, I'll go live for 10 minutes, y'all, and show you. I'll show you what it's like to be hands free. You feel me? On a POV, I could do not only every neighborhood visit, now I'm doing country visits. I'm pulling up on the tribes. I'm pulling up. I'm too much clothes.
there was never a time, even when I be reading ancient future and certain type of the mythos and whatnot, I don't come across too many depictions of a time where you could go live, right? Nobody was saying, yo, there was a titan in a god and whatnot, that you was able to see the world through their eyes.
Cyclops, right?
Like Cyclops. Everything, there was not a POV
Of the GODs.
of the God. Like that's a different type of flex, y'all. I don't think y'all understand the type of flex that the Ray-Bans are introducing. This is not the Vision Pro. We're gonna do a whole free workshop on the Vision Pro next week. I get on my technology shit. Today we got to get our occult metaphysical information out for the month of Black Myth Story, which is closing out Black Myth Story with this vulture shit, right? We're closing it out with this tonight. Okay,
that's right.
And then we getting right into.
Now we're not closing it out.
We ain't closing it out. We starting it. We look, fantasy complex industry. If Keys is still on the line, we had a show where we talked about on high level conversations about the fantasy complex industry. And when we were having that conversation, Sora didn't exist. Midjourney didn't exist. Dale didn't exist. OpenAI didn't exist. The word LLM didn't exist. None of these things existed. I just met the last piece of the puzzle. I collected the last Infinity Stone just the other day. I met the dude that said he could 3D print a house. That was the last Infinity Stone.
That was the last Infinity.
I collected the last stone, y'all. I shit you not.
The last stone.
Now I was like, wait. I showed him a picture. I said, wait a minute. If I take this picture and send it to you, right? Can you turn this picture into a toy? He said, in 2 hours. I said, it's over. So what I'm saying is this. The acceleration of life has happened to a pace where if you look at the higher level conversations that I had with 19 Keys and its timestamp, it was about 2 years ago, that we've accelerated to the pace that everything that we said that we needed in order to do the takeover of $1 trillion industry is here right now. So once again, 100,044, and we could make things messianic in this bitch on a daily basis. We could make this shit messianic, and y'all don't have to be complaining. Yeah, because you're gonna the motion is gonna be motion in everybody's ocean. You feel me? And we're all gonna see movement, and it's only gonna be $1. It's not even $1 a day. It's gonna start from $1 a day, and then it'll be $1 a minute because we got things to do, moves to make, and we God damn it, we gotta think big, bro. We gotta think big.
Yeah. 144,000 in this world, and you literally could lift the planet on $1 a day.
We need.
Like they told you the shit on the commercial. They said for 50 cents a day. But real talk, right? Because you're talking to somebody who came from feeding people on Skid Row, right? Utilizing about $250. I fed over 200 people on Skid Row. And it
You
was only like 2
documented
or
that.
3 of us, and it's documented. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So I know that they got the wholesale food district right down the block from Skid Row. So I used my tax ID and I went and got wholesale prices on cartons of bananas, on cartons of apples. Right? They don't eat hard. Then you learn they don't eat hard food. You need to get soft food. Avocados, right? Grapes,
mm-hmm.
bananas, what is that? Plums,
Yep.
right?
They tell you what's popping.
They let you know what I'm saying? And you could get it for considerably low prices if you're buying it at wholesale. And I was going on Skid Row and I was feeding over 200 people daily like that by myself with the push cart
Right.
stacked with boxes of food. So
You was doing that. You was
I
doing
already
that.
know what could be done with small change to change the lives in these inner cities for people who are in need. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
So
there's more people here
right.
overflowing these borders.
Right. I just want to take a test for everybody that's listening in the chat. If you would sign up to be a part of member, not a follower, a member, right? A team player on what it is that we are doing with the 144,000, right? Press 1. Press 1. The 144,000, and we all are on the blockchain. So they can't erase me from the blockchain. Okay? This is blockchain. This is different. It's not this other, it's not web 2.
Right.
It's
And it ain't
blockchain.
right. So there's no waste of funds, there's no
It's
misappropriation of
open
funds.
ledger.
Everything is
Right.
open ledger. So everything
So
that's made is being seen as transparent.
it's all
What is being
transparent.
spent is being
Right.
seen as being audited as transparent, all of it in real time on the blockchain.
Right. Because when when Richfield wakes up on a Monday and there's 144 in that wallet and whatnot, Richfield gets in contact with who? I get in contact with the farmers and I spend 144,000 with them. Where does that go? That goes to feed the people in these cities that need something to eat and whatnot. So we could disrupt the homeless problem, not the homeless problem, the hunger issue, the famine issue, the fact
Right.
that they're throwing food
Because
away and whatnot, and you got people that's hungry.
if
Make
they
it
could
make
think
sense.
straight, yeah, if they could eat and
Right.
think straight,
If they can eat
and
what
if
the
they could get
Panthers
the
did.
right, if they get the mineral content back in their body where they can have an actual, thought about how to think their way up out of their situation or make some
Right.
mental synapses connect, you feel
Right.
me?
Right.
Then at some point, once again, you're looking at a viable labor force. If you can rehab them back to a condition where they can work and give you the labor that you need, maybe it's not labor intensive. Maybe you just need them to press buttons.
Maybe we just need them to click like a click farm.
Yeah, maybe we
Maybe
just need
we
them
need
to
to,
click.
yeah, maybe we're gonna say, yo, we're gonna go overseas, right? Where there's villages and whatnot, and all we're gonna do is just set up a click farm to whereas we just need them to click. But that $1,000 that we send to them, or that $100,000, so $100,000 a day, or $144,000 a day, that might not move everybody over here because y'all stand on sofas and whatnot. But the 144 in Liberia, or the 144 in Nairobi, or the 144 in Kenya. Fun fact for everybody. Did you know that they built ChatGPT with the Kenyans at $2 a day? Talk black to me. We're going to talk about that tonight. Did you know that the AI was built on the same labor that the iPhone, that the Tesla, and everything else that you are doing that you're addicted to, and it got a hold on you, and there's some type of like a spiritual spell from these digital devices, but they all have the same story. So do your diamonds. The carbon, the pressure of pain, trauma, and all of those get captured in the carbon. It gets captured in the quartz. It gets captured in the coltan. The pressure of black slave labor. These are bodies. This is they piling up bodies on these motherfucking on these absorbing conduits of energy and whatnot. That the same way that China got the people jumping out of windows after they make your iPhone and your iPad. They come in and they got nets on the windows.
Yeah, to catch them.
To catch them. So What
Foxconn.
about so
You're talking
and these
about
are
Foxconn, and you're talking about
Foxconn, right?
Sana's in Kenya, and not only did they build the Chat GPT out, they also work as meta filters. So they're the ones that have to screen the videos that people upload to FB when they doing live suicides,
Right,
executions,
beheadings and
mutilations,
everything.
beheadings. They have to watch that stuff and delete it, and they don't have no mental health or any of those things to assist those people, and they're looking at 1,000, 2,000 hours of footage, 15 seconds a piece, like this.
Right, scanning through
Approve,
it. Right,
approve, disapprove, approve, approve, disapprove, approve, approve. And it's physical bodies that are doing that in these work forms. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So, like bro said, utilizing what's considered to be a viable labor force. You feel me? They can be doing the packaging. They could be doing the shit the niggas is doing at Amazon and these goddamn fulfillment
It's
centers.
called fulfillment
We
centers.
we have to disrupt logistics, shipping, and all of that
Shipping,
shit. Like
right. You gotta
I'm telling you
disrupt it.
from a personal perspective that the number one two company in this country is garbage. Like they are giving us service that is not
Subpar.
it's not consistent with what they're charging us for the services, and it has an indelible effect on our business because it impacts our customers. And it's hard for you to tell a customer after they spend money with you, you like, yo, I'm not in charge of the operation after this point. It's in the hands of the fulfillment center. That fulfillment center has to be able to fulfill its promises to the customer on the other end, or they are causing you issues
Man,
that you know what I'm saying? So
we
I'm telling you from
we gotta
experience
disrupt
that
that. Yes, we
I,
gotta disrupt that.
what I've learned through my experience is that, yeah, in order to make this shit right, I'm gonna have to disrupt them. And we can do it at a very, step by step basis. We got to do a zip code by zip code at this point. And it could start with food because
Right.
people are gonna want this food. Trust me when I tell you this food is everything. It slaps,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna make you
It's
happy as well. So
right,
it's really fulfillment. It's really fulfillment. You know what I
right.
mean? And as we grow in the Atlanta metro area, we're going to be able to spread this app from city to city, to state. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately country to country, where it's going to
Hell
be a
yeah.
full service delivery app, where it's not just food. But
Right.
we're not going to get into all of that right now. But what I am saying is absolutely that we have to connect with the trucker industry and disrupt the delivery industry, because logistically that's the connection that we need to go from state to state, from facility, or hub to hub.
Hub to hub. Right. Marketplace
Yeah,
to marketplace.
yeah. The rest of
Uh
these jokers,
the
they
same way.
violated our trust.
Right. And we have to
Rent
build
costs
our
too
own.
much.
Right. We got it. Right. So we got to create our own Silk Road. We have to
Yes.
create our own viable communities. Look at this once again. And I'm not going to hold y'all because, like I said, we got work to do. And 7 o'clock is
Yeah.
our lecture.
Gotta get
Right.
back to work.
Once again, right? So we have 144,000. All right. One day when we get that, one of these days we put it on land, right? This is all attached to the Facts Initiative. Food, art, clothing, technology, and shelter is all a part of the blockchain. It's all open ledger. It is all a part of social entrepreneurship. I don't need your dollar. I need your trust, and I need your energy, and I need your collective brain power, because we're building and whatnot. We buy the land at 144. There's a bunch of acreage that we buy. We don't need to buy. We're spending 144. We could buy land outside of the big cities and about 3 or 4 regions and whatnot. Then the next day with the 144, we go to the.
Man, you take 144 and go to the Acre Boys.
That's what I'm saying. You go to the Acre Boys and come up. And what else? What do you do with the
Come up,
migrants?
bro.
You go to the migrants and you bust them to the land that you just bought.
That's
You
right.
bring the migrants to the land. You shower them, you feed them, and then you also screen them. We have something called
right.
we have biotech and whatnot. you could determine how everybody is heart-wise. You don't have to deal with no type of issues and whatnot from either them, from the homeless, from people who you could tell if a person is healthy enough. Now you have them build what? Container homes, tiny homes, and also the quote-unquote homes that you could put up in one day that they're selling the kits on Amazon. So on this land that you just bought, which is acreage, you now could build up actual container homes and shelter. Then you have your carpenters, then you have your brothers from unions and whatnot that you lock in with the unions to do the electricity and the carpenter. You don't give that to no damn migrants who don't qualify unless they do qualify.
Because some of them are gonna come with skill sets.
Some of them are gonna come with skill sets.
Some of them gonna be trainable. Some of them gonna come with skill sets. But you also want to employ the people who are part of unions and trades that are, that need work right now.
Right.
For them to come in and lay that shit down.
Right. Somebody said biotech something. What I'm saying with biotech is the Fitbit. You could put the Fitbit around my wrist and tell what my heart rate is. You could tell if I have high blood pressure.
Yeah, but we're working with a specific company
that
is the ace in the field when it comes to these Fitbit bands, and they are like 10 times better than a Fitbit. They track and trace everything, and we're gonna be able to disrupt with that. You know what I mean? In terms of gaining analytics that are bar none. The illest available out there. So we're going to be able to know everything about these individuals possible.
Everything. Right. Everything. You know what I
mean? And again, there's subsidies that are happening from the government where if you do employ these individuals, the government's going to pay you checks. But then you also got to look at the insurance play once you get the analytics on them. If they do need some help. Not only if they need help, but if they come out to be so healthy that they become not insurance liabilities, but these are people that you definitely want to get, part of, like if you absorb them into a 501c8, right?
Right.
And they become part of your fraternal situation, and you could put them part of your insurance, life and death.
Right. Because family, these are national. These people these are not stateless people. These people belong to countries that America does business with.
They do
These
business
people
with them.
Are to be protected because their countries do business with America.
Let's be clear. Yes.
Free market.
The niggas did not run away from their country.
They did not run away.
Went to their country because they needed their country to open access to either military bases or oil. And them niggas do what? They run up visas.
Yes.
They hit them niggas with visas like 20,000. That's why they're flying into Mexico and crossing the border. How did they get the motherfucking
planes.
Yeah, they're getting on planes. They're not walking here from Africa or China or India, family. They're flying here. And that's based on deals. That's why the border is open for them, because their government made deals with this government for shit that this government needs from their government over there. And what do they have in exchange? Open borders for their people who want to pursue abroad education or employment,
whatever the dream is.
And then they got bread for them when they get over here. Don't let them fool you. This is about them getting in bed in international markets to compete with BRICS, and for them to compete with all of the motherfucking oil, the mineral runs being done in Africa. So they're running around the planet making deals.
They like, oh, there's Africans coming all the way here. Them Africans is here on invite, my nigga. Because
just like they did,
they need to be in Africa. They trying to get back to Africa.
Because niggas forget what set the trend off. Nigga, it was the fucking Afghanis first. Then it was the Ukraine refugees that came. Niggas,
the Syrians.
They hustle for money right up the block from me. I see them all the time. It be hoping them still outside. And some of them got right already. Some got with the Mexicans and they got fresh.
Yep, they be jugging.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're already integrated into this bitch. I remember a point in time, they was letting the Yemenis in because Yemen was at war and they was getting bombed on by Saudi Arabia and them running down. I mean, the government is always making deals.
This shit is an open Airbnb.
And just not telling, people don't understand foreign policy.
Right. This
They
bitch is
don't
a
know how these
hostile.
niggas. Yeah,
It's stolen land. That they be like, yeah, you could come over, and it ain't their house. You
it ain't even
understand?
their house.
It's not their house. So they're telling everybody, all right, pull up. You good. Open borders. They are at the same time getting washed in court where they got to give back states. They got to give back land. They're getting ran down for things that they're exceeding and whatnot.
Yes, they
They're
are.
having to hand back mountains, rivers,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
lakes.
yeah.
They flooded
Facts.
the border like they flooded Oscarville. That's the only thing that you see going on right now. They flooded the borders like they flooded Oscarville. This is not their land, and they're inviting people to come over and lay on your couch and lay up in your parks and lay all over the place because you don't know who the fuck you are. So they are like, you know what? We're going to bastard. We're gonna, you know what I mean? We're gonna pillage this place. And people
Yeah.
are like, how could they do that? What's going on? Fam, they're aliens. This is Attack of the Scrolls. They're the aliens here. They're not, they just came on a ship recently. They don't have no allegiance to the land of milk and honey. They're
But look,
trying to,
yeah. Everything you're saying is right and exact, but I gotta go. I gotta get back to work. All right. I'll see y'all tonight.
No doubt.
Peace. Peace.
All right.
Pablo.
Yes, sir. Salute to Blue Pillar. Y'all make sure to clap it up for Blue Pillar for doing what he do. You know what I'm talking about? He got to go cook. And I got to go cook myself. You know what I mean? We got work to do. Man, it's up and it's stuck. You know what I'm talking about? It's up and it's stuck. If there's anybody that heard me today and y'all ready to make moves, because this ain't about me. I'm not talking. I don't have to talk. Whatever I need to say, I'm gonna say it when I'm campaigning. You know what I mean? But I need commitment. There's something called a DM, and that's the best way that we could connect, through the DM and through the email. So feel free to hit me up. Yo, Red, put me on the blockchain. I'm one of your followers. I'm ready to be one of the members. Yo, Red, put me on the blockchain. I'm one of your Patreons. I'm ready to be one of the members. Yo, Red, put me on the blockchain. I'm ready to be, I'm ready to be blocked in. Because that's what's really going to make this thing do what it needs to do. The power is in the people. We don't need anybody. Stop. You need the link for tonight. It's pinned right there. If you can't get it off of the pin, just DM me. And when I get off of the live, I'll just drop it right in your DM. You know what I mean? The link is right here, but I'll drop it in your DM and whatnot. I'm looking for members, 144,000 to be exact. I don't want to run around and show my hand because that's not wise in this environment that we're in. The copycats is copying. You feel me? The haters is hating. And the clones is cloning. So I can't, they say don't pitch pearls and whatnot. And I'm on an open network. This is where I play commercials and music. And I'm talking about, this is where we play commercials and music. So I have to be very mindful about putting my ideas out there. But for those who are interested, you can either hit me on Cash App and say that you're interested, leave your email. You can hit me on an email. You can hit me on a DM. I'm accepting all new friends. You know what I mean? I'm accepting all inquiries. I'm accepting all questions and everything. I have a team that work for me. I will never be too drowned in work. Just bring it on. You got a question, you want to sign up, you want to know what it is about, all of these things, just holler at me. Okay. But the focus right now is on this delivery app that we just launched. You know what I'm talking about? So we could get this word out that we have something in the app store, and go and check it out. Go and download it. You know what I mean? Go and tell a friend to tell a friend. Right now we got the infused pizzas, and I promise you, this pizza right here is nothing like anything that you ever tasted. You are gonna be so right. You are gonna be so right. You know what I'm talking about? We got beverages coming up. We got bakery products, cookies and donuts, all infused. You know what I mean? All infused so you could feel good. You know what I mean? So tap in with us, y'all. Tap in with us. We making moves. Shit. We could be doing this every week. We could start right now and never stop. You know what I'm talking about? It's really up to y'all. But we're gonna be all right. We're gonna make it happen, and we're gonna get those 144. That's really we could make that happen in about 7 days. That's really a fucking layup. That's really not a problem to get 144. And it is what it is. Facts 24. We campaigning. We on the move. We got work to do. You know, we in the quantum quickening. When in Rome, do as the Carthaginians. And we have an announcement that we're gonna make tonight about something that we're gonna be doing next month. But let's get through tonight. So let me get back in the lab. Let me finish this process. Let me get this information, you know, and do the rest of this research so I can have a powerful presentation. Love and light to the family. All right, peace.
Biden posted this evil picture, and this is what it can mean.
VULTURE's one is a darker version of Ye. It's him on a sexual rampage from becoming a divorced man to remarried. Cardi is the go-to for this type of energy, and he leads the flows to the #1 song on Apple Music upon the first week of release. Cardi and Travis have a stranglehold on the culture right now. They understand how the internet works and how their lifestyle can steer the ship to wherever they want to go. With all their eccentric qualities and new ways of looking at things, Playboi Carti and Travis Scott are definitely leading this generation as far as they can with the influences that Ye has left behind. Some people may say that Ye is using the youth. Maybe he is, but it's working because he...
Let's go. Peace, y'all. Love and light. All right.
I'm crushing the socials, rushing through Ukraine, touching the locals. Quasi-Kodo, touching the coastals. Ethiopia, touching the opals. And quasi-nobles, kissing the ring. You niggas is Google, I'm ChatGPT, mixed with a Bing. Lift every voice without lifting a thing. The baby was born with the gift it could sing. I'm the less Elon, straight out of Pilon. Victory lapping, watching history happen, mystery cracking. It's the elitists attacking the fetus. They packing the seats up, cracking like C4C. They say it won't happen again, like Ye getting back with Adidas. He back with the heaters, back in the sweepers, so black like a pack of fajitas. Used to get stacks for the features, now niggas they pay us with straps on the back of their sneakers just to come slack with the teachers. We made them a promise and made us some comments. They paid us some homage. We married the game and they gave us Madonna. No maiden, no honor, rebuking the priesthood like Sinead O'Connor. If I take the breath, God give you the breathe. And remove the air from the wind and the breeze. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. I injured his knee. I train the blood you got in you that bleeds. Chop the tree of knowledge down and pick up the leaves. Superman to turn to Christopher Reeve. I injured his knee. As I mumble on Pro Tools. Spaceship I could hover and cloak to. I abducted and probe you. Fly till I got the tongue of a toad on the rumble with Goku. It wasn't even close. I thought somebody told you. I'd be munching on gold shroom till I grow you like I jumped on a toadstool. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. I'm hearing I'm the fairest of them all. I clearly am a pharaoh and a god. There is no comparing me to y'all. Repeat a mantra manifesting wealth. So me and all my family have held. Destroy the world and build it back better. My mind, I build a planet by myself. Unbelievable. I'm achieving the unachievable. I'm conceiving the unconceivable. All the demons I summon speak Hebrew. We play peekaboo. Unpredictable. Unexplainable. Inexplicable. Undefinable. Undescriptable. Underrated. Unequivocal. Unforgivable. Feeling like I become invisible. Underground like the mud and mineral. Industry is so fucking pitiful. Only signing the thugs and criminal. Honestly, I would love to kill a few. Treat a rat like a blood and crip would do. Get it schooled, I would punch the principal. Treat the system like what would Hitler do? If I take the breath, God give you the breathe. And remove the air from the wind.